Barbie's been making headlines for releasing its first doll with autism. The Barbie comes with features like a fidget spinner and headphones to show the need for reduced sensory overload. The doll is part of a larger line with other diverse Barbies, including ones that are blind, have Down syndrome, and type 1 diabetes. Dr. Amanda Kelly from Firefly Autism is joining us now to talk about the type of impact inclusive dolls and toys have on underserved communities. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you guys for having me.
Appreciate it. So it seems like there is not a lot of toys or dolls out there that represent kids with autism. Is this the first of its kind?
It is, yeah. And it's generated a lot of debate and conversation online, which I think is really important. I mean, ultimately, this is a global brand, right? And to have the first ever autistic Barbie is monumental. Our autism community is definitely very sensitive to overgeneralizations or misrepresentations, which, in some cases, not everybody sees themselves as represented by this Barbie, but it's open and an important conversation.
I think we're going to cover both sides of this debate here during this interview, but let's talk about the positives for starters. For
sure.
Why is or how is a doll like this important for kids with autism?
Well, I mean, first of all, the first thing that popped to my mind is that little girls with autism are very underrepresented, underdiagnosed, underrepresented in the media, in research. So I think this is an important step to understand that there are girls with autism, and that it's really important to understand that there's a lot of needs across the spectrum in general. And there are little girls around the world today who feel more seen and heard because of this. So that's pretty incredible.
Mattel, the maker of Barbie, actually worked with people who have autism to develop this Barbie. Talk about how important that is.
Yeah, they worked with the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network, which I think everybody was really glad that they did. I think that's really important. Obviously, we want the autistic voices in any kind of, production of anything like this. It was tricky. I mean, it's really difficult. You cannot possibly represent everybody across such an enormous spectrum with one doll. So I think that they did their best. And there are some who say they missed the mark, some who say they hit the nail on the head. So we'll see how it goes. I
was going to follow up with that. It's one doll, one expression of autism, if you will. So do you have any opinions on what they could have done better?
It's an impossible question. It's everybody is so unique, and autism is such a broad spectrum. It's very nuanced. It's very individualized. There's people who are saying, maybe the Barbie could have had, a hoodie or like a weighted blanket, but it's impossible to say that there's one way to represent such a nuanced spectrum like autism. I think the other thing that I would say is that there are many people out there who have higher support needs, who were not able to be part of this conversation and don't have a voice in this. And there's a lot of additional needs that might be seen, and that's not represented in this either. So I think there's two ways to look at this.
You bring up such a tough point, because like you said, like some were saying, well, maybe a hoodie would have been better, because that, is a group of people that would say that. But then you're also trying to, get young girls with autism to want to have this Barbie doll, right? And a lot of Barbie dolls are cutesy with the dresses and all that stuff. So I feel like you're right. It would be hard for them to get it all correct. I think what's really wonderful is that they tried.
Yes, and here we are today, sitting here having this conversation about autism, and whether you agree or disagree, now is the time to get on your platform and use that to educate and to say, here are all the reasons why I think this is wonderful, or here are the things I think that could have been done better, so that our general community and across the world understand autism a little bit better. It's an opportunity.
You're right, though. I mean, I think it was just Monday we learned about the doll.
Yeah.
And here we are 2 days later having the discussion.
My phone blew up on Monday.
And you never know. I mean, maybe this doll is so popular and they hear the feedback and they're like, we're going to do like a 2.0.
Right.
We're going to give them another option with
or a whole series.
Features. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So I think it really is wonderful that they're doing that and representing really an underrepresented group, which is really incredible.
Agreed.
Yeah.
When your phone blew up on Monday, we appreciate you answering our call and getting in here on Wednesday and having this conversation with us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate the opportunity.
All right.